That moment you look at the clock, and it's 2 a.m. Again. You were sleeping so soundly, and suddenly, your eyes are wide open, your mind is racing, and the thought of falling back asleep feels like climbing a mountain. It's frustrating, isn't it? That feeling of being awake in the dead of night, knowing the hours are ticking away before you have to face the day. Already feeling tired. You might wonder if this is just normal aging, or if it means something else is going on. You might worry about the impact on your energy, your mood, even your memory. It's a painful reality for so many people. This nightly rendezvous with the early morning hours. But waking up consistently at 2 a.m. isn't just random. It often points to specific things happening in your body or your life. Understanding what these are can be the key to finally getting that full, uninterrupted night's rest you deserve. In this video, we're going to uncover some of the most common reasons you might be waking up at this particular time. And more importantly, we'll explore practical, simple things you can do about it. We'll look at various factors, from simple habits to things you might not have even considered. Stick with me until the very end, because there's something we'll touch on that might truly surprise you and change how you think about your sleep. Let's dive right into some of the things that might be playing a role in those 2 a.m. awakenings. One of the most common reasons people find themselves wide awake in the middle of the night, particularly as we get a little older, is something quite simple and perhaps a bit inconvenient, needing to use the bathroom. Now, you might think, well, of course, sometimes I need to go. But waking up consistently at the same time, around 2 a.m., for this reason can be a sign that something specific is happening with your body's fluid regulation or your bladder function overnight. Our bodies change as we age, and the ability to concentrate urine overnight or for our bladders to hold as much for as long can diminish. This is often called nocturia, which just means waking up needing to pee. Waking specifically around 2 a.m. might relate to when you last had something to drink, how much you had, or even the timing of certain medications. Think about your evening routine. Are you having a large glass of water, tea, or even a sneaky fizzy drink right before bed? That liquid has to go somewhere, and a few hours later, right around that 2 a.m. mark, your bladder sends a clear signal. Even healthy drinks like herbal tea can contribute if consumed late. Another factor can be the timing of diuretic medications, like those prescribed for blood pressure or fluid retention. Taking these too late in the day can mean their peak effect happens right in the middle of the night, sending you to the bathroom. There are also less common reasons, like underlying bladder irritation or issues with how your body processes fluids overnight. But often, it's linked back to simple timing and volume of liquid intake. So, what can you do about it? The most straightforward step is to be mindful of when and how much you drink in the hours leading up to bedtime. Try to front-load your fluid intake earlier in the day. Make sure you're well hydrated throughout the morning and afternoon, but start tapering off your drinking a couple of hours before you plan to go to sleep. Now, I'm not saying cut out drinking entirely. That's not healthy, but just shift the bulk of it. For instance, if you usually have a big glass of water at 8 p.m. and go to bed at 10 p.m., try finishing your liquids by 7 p.m. instead. Small sips if you feel thirsty are fine, but avoid large volumes. Pay attention to caffeine and alcohol in the evening too, as these can act as diuretics and increase the need to go. Another helpful trick for some people is called double voiding. Right before you get into bed, go to the bathroom, then wait a few minutes, maybe brush your teeth or do a final check of the doors, and try to go again. Sometimes, you can empty your bladder a bit more thoroughly the second time, which might buy you a few extra hours of sleep. Pelvic floor exercises, often known as Kegel exercises, can also be beneficial for strengthening the muscles that help control the bladder, though it's best to learn the correct technique, perhaps from a healthcare professional or through reliable resources. If you're taking medication, especially a diuretic, and you suspect its timing is contributing to nighttime waking, have a chat with your doctor or pharmacist. They might be able to adjust the timing or even the type of medication. But never change your medication routine without consulting them first. Sometimes, it's not just about fluid intake but how your body handles sugar. Blood sugar fluctuations overnight can also disrupt sleep, and often, that dip or spike might occur around 2 a.m., waking you up. This is particularly relevant if you have diabetes or prediabetes. But even for those without a diagnosis, significant swings can happen based on what and when you eat, especially your evening meal or late-night snacks. Having a large carbohydrate-heavy meal or a sugary snack close to bedtime can cause your blood sugar to spike and then crash a few hours later, triggering a release of hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which are designed to wake you up and raise your sugar levels. This hormonal surge can easily jolt you awake. So, thinking about your evening meal timing and composition is crucial. Try to eat your dinner a few hours before you go to bed, ideally allowing 3 to 4 hours for digestion before you lie down. This helps prevent issues like acid reflux as well, which can also wake you up, often with discomfort in the chest or throat. Again, potentially around that 2 a.m. mark when digestion is well underway and you're lying flat. When it comes to the meal itself, aim for a balanced plate, including some protein and healthy fats along with complex carbohydrates like vegetables or whole grains, helps stabilize blood sugar much better than a meal heavy in simple carbs, like white pasta or sugary desserts. If you absolutely need a snack before bed, choose something small and balanced, like a few nuts, a small piece of fruit with a little cheese, or a spoonful of yogurt. Avoid anything high in sugar or refined carbohydrates. The goal is to keep your blood sugar curve relatively flat overnight, preventing those sharp drops that can trigger a stress response and wake you up. It's not just about preventing a crash. Sometimes high blood sugar overnight can also cause discomfort or trigger the need to urinate more frequently. Looping back to our first point, so, managing blood sugar through thoughtful eating and timing can tackle multiple potential causes of that 2 a.m. alarm clock. Beyond diet and bladder, another very common disruptor, especially as we age, is pain or physical discomfort, whether it's arthritis, back pain, joint stiffness, or just general aches from the day. Lying in bed for hours can make these issues more prominent and eventually uncomfortable enough to wake you up. And just like clockwork, a few hours into sleep, when your body has been still for a while, that discomfort can reach a point where it breaks through your sleep. The consistency of waking around 2 a.m. might relate to your sleep cycle. You might be coming out of a deeper stage of sleep around that time, making you more susceptible to being woken by pain or discomfort that was present but not registering in deeper sleep. Addressing pain for better sleep isn't always about eliminating it entirely, which might not be possible, but about managing it effectively, especially at night. Consider gentle stretching or movement earlier in the evening, or even a short, very gentle stretching session right before bed, if your doctor approves. This can help loosen stiff muscles and joints. Ensure your sleep environment is supportive. Your mattress and pillows play a huge role in your comfort. An old, sagging mattress isn't doing your back or joints any favors. Sometimes, a simple change in pillow height or placing a pillow between your knees or under your back can make a significant difference in spinal alignment and joint pressure. Think about when you take any pain medication. If you take something during the day, talk to your doctor about whether a dose timed closer to bedtime might help carry you through the night, or if there are specific long-acting options that could be suitable. Again, always discuss medication timing and options with your healthcare provider. Simple things like a warm bath or shower before bed can also help relax muscles and ease stiffness temporarily. Even using a heating pad on a low setting safely. Following instructions on a sore area before settling down can make a difference. Sometimes, it's a combination of these things. Maybe managing fluid intake helps, but you're still waking up because of nagging back pain. Addressing both can be key. It's about becoming a detective for your own body and sleep patterns, noticing what seems to trigger the waking and what might alleviate it. And remember, these are often cumulative. A little bit of discomfort, combined with needing to use the bathroom, layered with a touch of anxiety about tomorrow, can be the perfect recipe for that 2 a.m. wake-up call. Now, moving on from physical reasons, let's consider another significant factor that can throw off your sleep schedule and lead to those consistent 2 a.m. awakenings: your sleep environment and habits leading up to bedtime. Our bodies thrive on routine, and this is especially true for our internal body clock, the circadian rhythm, which regulates our sleep-wake cycle. As we get older, this internal clock can sometimes become less robust, making us more sensitive to disruptions. Waking up at 2 a.m. might be a sign that your circadian rhythm is a bit off, or that something in your environment or routine is interfering with its natural flow. Think about your bedroom. Is it truly conducive to sleep? Even small amounts of light can suppress melatonin, the hormone that helps us feel sleepy. Light from streetlights outside, electronics with glowing displays, or even a digital clock can be enough to disrupt sleep. Noise is another big one. Is there a consistent noise that might be occurring around 2 a.m.? Maybe a neighbor's heating system kicking in, traffic noise, or even a pet moving around. Temperature is also critical. A room that's too hot or too cold can make it difficult to stay asleep. Most experts agree that a slightly cool room is best for sleep. Beyond the environment, let's talk about habits. What do you do in the hour or two before bed? Are you scrolling on your phone, watching exciting or stressful TV shows, or working on your computer? The blue light emitted by screens can significantly interfere with melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep initially and potentially impacting the quality of your sleep later in the night, leading to awakenings. Engaging in mentally stimulating or emotionally upsetting activities close to bedtime can also rev up your brain and make it difficult to stay asleep. Your mind might start processing the day's events, worrying about tomorrow, or replaying conversations. And this mental activity can reach a peak around that quiet 2 a.m. hour when there are no distractions. This brings us to the topic of anxiety and stress, which are huge culprits in nighttime waking. If you're feeling anxious or worried about something, big or small, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol. Cortisol is naturally higher in the morning to help you wake up, and lower at night to allow you to sleep. However, if you're stressed, your cortisol levels might not drop sufficiently at night, or stress can cause surges that wake you up. Often, when you wake up at 2 a.m., your mind immediately latches onto worries because it's quiet, dark, and there's nothing else to focus on. This can quickly escalate a simple awakening into a full-blown period of wakefulness, making it hard to drift back off. So, what can you do to calm the mind and create a better sleep environment? First, tackle the environment. Make your bedroom as dark, quiet, and cool as possible. Use blackout curtains if outside light is an issue. Consider earplugs or a white noise machine if noise is a problem. Invest in comfortable bedding that helps regulate temperature. As for habits, establish a relaxing bedtime routine about an hour before you plan to sleep. This signals to your body that it's time to wind down. This routine could include reading a physical book not on a backlit device, listening to calm music or a podcast, doing some gentle stretching or yoga, or practicing relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. Seriously, the blue light is a major problem for sleep. If you find your mind racing with worries, try journaling about your concerns earlier in the evening, downloading them onto paper so they don't feel so pressing when you're trying to sleep. If you wake up at 2 a.m. and your mind starts racing, try not to engage with the worrisome thoughts. Tell yourself you will think about it in the morning. Sometimes, getting out of bed for 15-20 minutes if you can't fall back asleep can help. Go to another room. Do something quiet and non-stimulating in dim light, like reading a boring book. And only return to bed when you feel sleepy again. Staying in bed feeling frustrated and wide awake can create a negative association with your bedroom. Another often overlooked factor that can disrupt sleep, potentially leading to those 2 a.m. awakenings, is lack of consistent physical activity during the day. While intense exercise too close to bedtime can be stimulating, regular moderate physical activity during the day helps regulate sleep patterns. Spending time outdoors in natural light during the day is also incredibly important for setting your internal body clock, making it easier to feel sleepy when it's dark and stay asleep through the night. Let's tie all of this together. Waking up at 2 a.m. isn't necessarily a sign of something terribly wrong, but it is your body's way of telling you that something is consistently disrupting your sleep at that point in your sleep cycle. It could be one single factor, or more likely, a combination of several. We talked about the potential impact of fluid intake and timing, especially needing to use the bathroom, and simple adjustments like tapering off liquids earlier in the evening or double voiding. We discussed how managing blood sugar through balanced meals and avoiding late-night sugary snacks can prevent those hormonal surges that jolt you awake. We explored how pain and physical discomfort can become more noticeable after being still for a few hours. And strategies like gentle movement, supportive bedding, and timed medication can help. And we delved into the importance of your sleep environment, making it dark, quiet, and cool. And your pre-sleep habits, emphasizing winding down without screens and managing anxiety through relaxation techniques or journaling. Recognizing why you are waking up at 2 a.m. is the first crucial step. Is it usually needing the bathroom? Is it discomfort? Is it your mind racing? Once you have an idea, you can start experimenting with some of the simple, actionable steps we've discussed. It might take a bit of trial and error to find what works best for you. Maybe cutting back on evening tea makes a big difference, or perhaps incorporating a short, gentle stretching routine before bed is the key. Perhaps it's a combination of darkening your room and starting a calming bedtime routine. Remember, improving sleep is often a process of making small, consistent changes. Don't feel overwhelmed. Just pick one or two things to focus on first. And while we've covered many common culprits, it's always wise to mention that persistent sleep problems, especially if they are significantly impacting your daytime functioning, should be discussed with your doctor. They can rule out any underlying medical conditions that might be contributing, like sleep apnea or restless legs syndrome, which sometimes require medical intervention. However, for many people, understanding these common reasons and making practical adjustments to habits and environment can lead to significant improvements. You are not alone in experiencing this, and it is absolutely possible to improve your sleep quality as you age. Better sleep isn't just about feeling less tired. It impacts your mood, your energy levels, your cognitive function, and your overall quality of life. It's about feeling more vibrant and capable during your waking hours. Think of it this way. Your body is giving you clues. That 2 a.m. wake-up call is a signal. And by paying attention to the factors we've discussed, you can learn to interpret that signal and respond in a way that supports deeper, more restorative sleep. Start by observing your own patterns. Keep a simple sleep diary for a few nights. What did you eat, drink in the evening? What did you do before bed? What was the room like? What were you thinking about when you woke up? This can help you identify your personal triggers. Then, choose one strategy to try for a week or two and see if it makes a difference. Be patient with yourself. Change takes time. You deserve to feel rested and energized each day. Taking steps to understand and address those 2 a.m. awakenings is an investment in your health and happiness. You have the power to make positive changes that can lead to more peaceful nights. Don't underestimate the impact of these seemingly small adjustments. They can truly make a big difference. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you have your own tips for dealing with nighttime waking, or if you found a solution that worked for you, please share it in the comments below. Your experience could help someone else who is struggling. And if you'd like more practical tips and insights on living your best life at every age, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for watching. Remember, better sleep is within reach, and small changes can pave the way to more restful nights and brighter days. Live your best life at every age.